Yeah, so we did a circuit round Swinton bivouac. We used it. So we met up with two of Fatima's, well, one of Fatima's friends that she works with that I've never met before,
right?
And her partner. We were going to go horse riding because horse is one of my favourite animals. I've always wanted to sort of take it up, really, horse riding. I'm just stunned by them whenever I see them. You know, some people stop in the tracks at dogs. I'm like, where they're just like, oh my god, there's a dog.
Right, yeah.
Dogs. Yeah, I'm like that with horses.
They're always bigger than I remember them. Whenever you see one, you know, I met a proper horse. You know, when you see a proper one.
There's some juicy steeds out there.
Yeah, there is. There's some the rock ones out there.
You know, I went walking on Friday morning, and I went out, and I was out for fucking ages in the end. I ended up doing about 7 kilometres, that for about an hour and a half, just on my Todd on Friday morning for work. And I came and I went past this farm. And there was a horse, and it was absolutely just frozen, like 1 foot forward, didn't move. And I was approaching the thing, like the fence, and it just didn't move at all. And I got closer, absolutely no movement, nothing. Got a bit closer, nothing. And I stood in front of it. Literally, the only thing it's moving is it had a semi on that was just twitching like that. I looked at it, I thought, oh my god, is this thing going to fuck me if I get... It was just like that. And I was like, that's weird. Obviously, a horse, I mean, it was fucking well hung.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, people use hung like a donkey.
Yeah.
Horses are bigger than that. And it was just like that. Totally steady. His dick just twitching like that. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And I just carried on walking. And I didn't send you a video. So there's no way I'm going to video this. That's too far. Look at this horse's dick. I wish I did. But then I'd have forgotten to delete it, and it'd look weird when somebody found it.
Did I ever send you that video of the donkey?
No.
See if I can find it.
I walked on, and it just didn't move. It literally, until I went around the corner, it just stayed completely still, just dick twitching. Have you ever met him?
Dick twitching.
The famous 1960s detective.
He was that highwayman, wasn't he?
Yeah. Is this you? Did you film this?
It's a tiny little donkey as well.
Yeah, that's man. The fucking yeah. Look at the hog on that. Jet black as well.
Jet black, black as the ace of spades.
Yeah, it's like a police truncheon, isn't it? And I bet that'll do more damage as well.
I think I'd rather be hit by the policeman.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, we were going to go horse riding. But and the message here, they basically say, you need to send your height and your weight. And it turns out that we'd booked it that late that they only had Shetlands.
Right.
they were like, yeah, Ross can't go on that. They said it was I was too tall, but I was like, well, I'm 6 foot, and this other lad, like her partner's like 5'9" or something. Like, yeah, right. He was a very slight chap.
Right.
Very, very sort of just very thin and small shoulders. And yeah,
were you worried you don't like Gimli?
Yeah, just a very tall Gimli though. But yeah, so we didn't end up. I mean, we didn't show up, and they said, yeah, no chance you're getting on that. And just this donkey staring at me with a giant dick. Like, it's not going to let you. You can't ride it, but it will ride you.
Yeah.
So obviously we went knowing that we weren't going to be doing that, but yeah, we did this like big circuit round. It was a beautiful walk, and we were walking through literally had our arms up, walking through bracken that was up here.
Yeah.
Finding this trail. So we did that. We ended up at the Druid Temple, and then we drove to a place called the White Bear, and had a roast dinner. Fucking banging it was. and then we went into Massam to this retro sweet shop because Fatima and Victoria wanted some sweets. And then we drove to a place called Brymore. It's a dairy farm.
Right.
So we went there and got an ice cream, and they have a maze.
A maze?
Yeah, amazing.
Nice.
And so we did that. Yeah, it was a nice day. So that's what we did yesterday.
So but, if you want retro sweet shops, Whitby's your place.
Yeah.
Every fifth shop.
Yeah.
Wait, so there's a sweet that I used to like. I think they're called coconut tea cakes. Like round little things. It's basically like, you know, the coconut licorice all sort. It's like a slightly softer version of them without the licorice inside.
Well, that's good because I fucking hate licorice.
Yeah, but they don't make them anymore.
I don't think there are modern sweet shops.
What?
They're all retro, aren't they? I mean, they look great, but sweet shops are all like, you go in and the first thing I think of is that scene in Willy Wonka. You can make the rainbow, sprinkle it with jizz. The donkey dick. You know that one?
The donkey dick can.
And it's like, they're all like that. They're all like wooden counters, loads of tubs of sweets. There's a sign out the front that looks retro as fuck, and it's great. It totally works. But I don't think I've ever seen like a super modern one. Yeah,
you get there's one in Leeds. There's one in Leeds. They tend to have a massive section that does American sweets.
Yeah, the retro ones that cost tenner for a 10p bag of fucking sherbet.
So anyway, so now you can't get the coconut tea cakes anyway. They don't make them.
That's a shame. We always end up with the same thing: choc nibs. they're like crack to me and Fatima then choc nibs. We have to buy separate bags. We have to buy separate bags because I just fucking.
Is it just chocolate dust? Is that all it is?
No, it's no. Chocolate dust is shit, mate. You don't want that. Fucking no. That just coats your throat and you nearly choke to death. No, choc nibs. They are dusty. I'll give you that. But they're like little. They look like rabbit shit, basically. But they're just like little, varying sized turds with like a nice chocolate powder over the top of them. But they are like bite-sized chocolate nibbles. Right. And they're fucking like, mate, they're like anyone I've introduced them to. I even took some from my grandma, and now she's absolutely hooked on them. She bought me a pack recently, and I got there, and she fucking ate it. She told me, she goes, Ross, I've got a surprise for you when you next come through. I've got you a bag of chopped nibs. I was like, oh, nice one. I got through, and she was like, I've got a confession, Ross. I wolfed my bag, and I fucking wolfed yours as well. That's what they're like. And Fatima's the same. They're like crack, but I'm the worst for it. Like last time we got some was in, I think we were in, well, we got some at the weekend. We got some yesterday, and I've already done them. I think it was a £2.50 bag, and I've just fucking pretty much tipped it down, gone. But we got a bag. We were in Castleford, and we found a sweet shop in there, and they did them. And I got us a £5 bag each. Now, £5 of the choc nibs is quite a lot of choc nibs. Yeah. But I had to get separate bags because I'll just fucking destroy them. This is why I don't buy anything like that during the week.
Yeah, because you just have them.
Because I just destroy the lot. I have to properly restrict myself.
I'm trying to find out what they actually are.
Have you got them up?
Choc nibs. Yeah. I think it keeps correcting to knobs. Choc nib. What are choc nibbles made of? Chocolate nibbles are made of a blend of milk chocolate, caramel, nuts, wafers, biscuits, dusted with icing sugar.
Yeah, that's the one. Right. Banging, mate. I'll get you some. Next time I'm getting some. Yeah, there, you choc nibs. Next time I buy some, I'm going to get you a bag.
I've seen them for years, but I've never.
Oh, they're fucking banging, mate. Honestly, I'm not messing around here. You've got to get them. We're not sponsored in any way. This is not a
choc lick. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, I've never tried that. But why?
That just looks like ground up choc nibs, doesn't it?
Yeah, nah, not into that. Not into that. That's just a batch of choc nibs that went wrong.
Yeah.
So they thought, fuck it, rather than bin it, well, somebody will buy it. No, get your choc nibs. And they're like crack. You know when you're watching a film and you're having a beer and you've got a bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
And it's just go hand in hand, beer and
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
Choc nibs goes with anything, mate. They're absolutely delicious. They're proper. I mean, I had the shit stomach chronic this morning.
Well, because of that.
I probably, yeah. Well, I ate a lot yesterday, to be fair. I mean, I had a roast dinner and then an ice cream, and then got home and I had a bag of choc nibs. And I was trying to train. I'm doing 2 bloody programs. I'm doing an arms program and a core program. I do both every morning. I had to pause it about 8 times. It was oozing out of me, it was. Kept pausing the thing and running back into the house. My stomach was just in knots. I was like,
you need a toilet in there, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah. But it does, because it means it's good because I can sort of still get a bit of, like I'll be warmed up training and I've still got to go down a flight of stairs, across the garden, and back up a flight of stairs. And so I tend to jog in with it dripping down my leg.
Yeah.
Looks like I've got an eighth of chocolate cake in my calves.
Oh, fucking hell. I define when I eat well, it's worse. If you eat something that should
the shits,
yeah, when you eat something that should be quite healthy or good for if you eat if you get a carvery, it's one of the only times that I sort of pile up the veg, because for some reason I eat it at a carvery.
Because you paid for it.
Yeah.
Because you paid for it.
Yeah. But the day after is an absolute disaster down there.
See, I partially credit that to because I'm pretty much a vegetarian.
Yeah.
I only eat meat when we go out for a meal. So right through the week, I'm a fully fledged vegetarian. And I think maybe that's got something to do with it, is I'm just eating. I mean, Fatima's fine. And I think, I don't think that most veggies have chronic ass problems. Mate, on Sunday morning, like we were meeting them at 10.
Yeah.
That's what time we were meeting them, in Swinton Bivouac car park at 10 o'clock. Sunday yesterday morning. And it's an hour's drive away from here.
Right.
So we were up at like 7:30. I had 2 shits. We got on the road. Yeah. 20 minutes later, my stomach was in knots. I was like, I'm going to have to pull into the services and have a shit. Did that, got in the car, carried on driving. 20 minutes later, stomach's in knots, need a shit again.
Good job you're not precious about where you go, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. If I was like, I don't know how Gage did it.
No.
I mean, he used to say it.
I suffer for a little bit. I don't like it, but sometimes I have to.
He used to say to me, I need a shit. I say, you don't. Believe you me, if you needed a shit like I need a shit, you'd have a shit.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is to need a shit, because if you did, you wouldn't be going all day and waiting until you get home. You wouldn't have that luxury.
No.
You wouldn't have that choice.
No.
Your socks would be full by the time you clocked off.
When it's causing you pain to stop it, then you, that's the issue.
Man, it's literally like a white hot feeling in your stomach.
Yeah,
it's getting out there. I didn't shit into my own hammock around the back of the Emmerdale Studios for fun. I did it because I had no goddamn choice. Somebody said, Ross, why don't you fancy holding on to that for another 10 minutes till you get to work? No, you're all right. I fancy having a shit around these bins in peak time.
Still would have loved to have seen that.
It's like,
driven past while you're there having a shit into your own pants.
Like when I went on that run through Headingley when I lived in Regency Court, and my stomach was in knots, and I jumped in Burley Park and jumped in a bush and had a shit. Absolute brown lava. And then I was like, right, now I'm glad that's out. Carried on running. 5 minutes, I got to the top of Burley Hill, needed a shit again. I went back and just topped up the exact same location.
Same spot?
Yeah. Well, it's tried and tested, wasn't it? I knew it was safe. But reduce the environmental impact.
Plus, also, if you do get arrested for it, you're not going to get arrested for doing it twice. you just get arrested.
I saw a massive pile and assumed it was the right place to do it.
There was a sign, I'm sure there was.
Yeah. That's what I mean. You don't have the luxury to just be picky about where you're going to have a shit. Like, if you know, the thing is, I'm fine all day. No problem. Never, not one point during the day does that happen ever.
No.
It's always like early in the morning.
But I also think running doesn't help. I think running forces it down.
No, but it's not always, yesterday I wasn't running. This morning I wasn't running.
Yeah.
It's not just running. It's just that's just what my mornings like. Fatima was in the car. She was like, "How do you live your life like this?" I was like, "Well,
carefully.
You live with me. You know how I live my life. I live my life by having 4 shits every morning. I live my life by pacing back and forth in the kitchen, trying to shift it all before I go out." Like on Thursday morning, we were both going into. I was going into work because we were going to the wedding venue.
Yeah.
On Thursday, so I was like, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'll drive you into work. I'll drop you off. I'll drive into work. I'll do a day in the office. I'll pick you up, and then we'll go straight to the venue."
Yeah.
And so that meant that we were training at the same time. So we got up at 5. Fatima's going into the studio. I was going to do a 5K. So we're in the kitchen together. She's like making a coffee. And I'm literally pacing around. I'd already had a shit. And then I was just walking up and down the kitchen. She was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm pacing around because I know that there's more to come." And she'd be like, "Do you do this every morning?" I was like, "Yes, this is part of my morning routine. Like, you are witnessing my morning routine." Because normally she's gone to work. Like, I get up at 6:30 and she's literally just walked out the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was like, this is what happens every morning. I'll walk up and down the kitchen, have a shit, get out, carry on walking up and down the kitchen for 5 minutes, have another shit, come back out, continue walking up and down the kitchen. And the third one is usually the sweet spot. That's when I know the likelihood of me soiling my own knickers is at its lowest.
Imagine after the third one, you're like that.
That's when I know we're about sweet. And then I can go out and I don't worry as much because I think, well, I've had 3.
What do you think as a total? Not talking about like milliliters or anything, but what is the maximum you've done in a day?
Shits.
Yeah. Is there a day when you look back and you think, oh, August the 11th, 1994, it's 12 that day?
No, there's never a day when you think about the volume of shit. You just remember the times when you've shat yourself. That's how you measure success in this household. That's the metric. How long has it been since I've shat myself?
The thermometer with just brown. Just go, just mark it up in brown. It goes up.
Simon, when something happens every day, you can hardly mark it as an achievement, can you?
Oh. But like by your third one, is it? Obviously, I'm guessing the first one is the bulk of the heft, and then
no. I think that's part of the problem.
Right.
I think
the first one's literally like a vinegar stroke.
The first one, yeah. The first one's a bit of a tea time teaser.
Yeah.
It's like it's like it's like you get some out and it's like, right, done. And you don't get up thinking I still need a shit. Like, as far as your body's concerned, you're done.
That's it, done. Yeah, bang.
But I just know through experience that 10 minutes from then, after moving around for 10 minutes, I'm going to be back to square one. I'm going to be back to square brown. I'm just going to be. It's almost as like the first one never happened.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it again,
right.
And then I'm going to come, and then it's like sometimes two does it. Usually 3 is that's the bingo. But there's been for this morning I probably did 6. But what I will say is they weren't it wasn't 6 meatballs. It was like the first few were the bulk of the heft, or however you worded it. And then I'd like get back into the studio, I'd be training and I could just feel that pain in my stomach.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can go to the bathroom and like I genuinely feel like I'm about to shit myself and nothing happens. But the fear is enough to send you there.
Yeah. Are you just like, by the end, are you just squeezing out like choc nibs?
Tassy water. It's just like bleeding a radiator that's already been bled. It's just, yes, I got 2 drops, but it shouldn't have made that much difference.
Should we talk about your dream now?
Yeah, let's move on to it. Cue jingle.
Stars in your eyes, little Ross. Where do you go to dream? To a place we all know, the land of Ross's dreams.
So this one I think is one of my actually I've got 2 to tell you about. So we'll do a separate jingle. You can either include them both in one episode or spread them out, whatever.
Okay.
So the first one.
Oh, there we go.
The first one I've called the Semyon debt collector.
Okay.
And I was in my mum and dad's old house, my dad's current house still in Cowlands Road in Barrow, and I was with Fatima, and she was really nervous. She was really on edge about something, and she kept looking out the window, and I was like, "What is up with you?" And she was like, "This debt collector's after me."
Right.
And I was like, "Right." And she said, "He thinks that I haven't paid a parking ticket."
Right.
And now he's trying to charge me 4 times the amount. But I never got a parking ticket. It's full of shit.
Right.
So I said, right, okay. But she said, people are scared of him. People are really scared of him because he's a Semyon. Those were the words. That, I mean, I'm not just saying that for effect. The word Semyon features prominently in this dream.
Okay.
And so I part of me in the back of my mind in this dream knew about this debt collector, and I said, "Is it the Semyon debt collector?"
Okay.
And she said it might be.
Just might be.
So I was like, well, I'll fucking deal with him. And then a few minutes later, she was like, I think he's coming around the corner of the street. And there was this proper, like, weedy, like, unseeming little fucking dorky Semyon.
Yeah.
Who came walking up the street. And I was like, him? She was like, that's fucking him. That's him. I think he was a bit like Kevin Spacey, you know, in The Usual Suspects. I think he was like Kaiser Soze. And he just came up to the so like he hadn't clocked me. I was looking out the window and he fucking knocked on the door. So I was like started putting up a front. So I fucking marched over to the window and pulled the curtains back and fucking looked at him like that. I could like trying to look like a psycho. I freak him out before I speak to him. And then he looked at me and he was like, he looked scared and it like gave me this little shit-eating grin. And I was like, fucking pull the curtains back. And I got this baseball bat. And I opened the front door, and my dad's house is the front door, and there's a porch door.
Right. Okay.
And I could see behind him through the porch door was about 4 guys all with bats.
Right.
I was like, oh fuck. 1 bat, 4 bats. 4 bats, 1 Semyon. So I was like, oh no. So I was like talking through the door. I was like, I'll fucking put the bat down if everyone else puts the bats down. So they were like, he was like, looked and nodded, and they all put the bats down. And I opened the door, and he was like, I'm here to collect the 400 quid from Fatima and Adat. And I was like, yeah, I've heard about this. She didn't get a parking ticket, so why are you trying to, who are you collecting for? And he was like, can't say, private. I was like, well, where was the parking ticket from? Can't say, private. I was like, you're not fucking collecting shit. You're just trying to shake people down. I was like, fucking, who are you? And he was like, I'm the debt collector. So he didn't refer to himself as.
No.
I was like, there are no debts to be collected try and fuck, I was like, fuck off and try and con someone else. I was like, you're not getting fucking 400 quid out of us, no chance, fuck off. And he was like, I'm not going anywhere until you give me 400 quid. So I sort of like that. I was like, fuck off, will you? Did a bit of a Paddy Considine in Dead Man's Shoes. You know?
Yeah.
You're there, mate. I'll get in that car. Oh, fuck off. So, anyways, he got on this little minibus, and him and all of his goons got on this minibus and fucked off. So I was like, right, he's fucked off. And then there's a girl who lives up the road. I won't refer to her name, but she in real life she lived up the road from us.
Right.
And she came down and she was like, were you speaking to that semi-on debt collector? And I was like, yeah, he's a little prick. He's trying to fucking rinse us of 400 quid. He's full of shit. So he's gone. And she was like, you need to pay him. And I was like, no fucking chance. She was like, I challenged him and told him I wasn't fucking paying him. And look what he did to me. And she lifted a top up and she had like fucking, what was the word? She basically had a word carved into her chest.
Right.
It wasn't semi-on. She had like it carved the word. I can't remember what the word is, but she carved the word into her chest. And she was like, this is what he did to me. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, he fucking did that? She was like, yeah. I was like, and then he came back around the corner with his goons and they all had fucking big machetes. So I gave him 400 quid and he fucked off. So that's the semi-on as debt collector.
Right. Right. Okay. Have you watched a program about debt collection or something, or is that just really random?
Simon, I don't need to have seen anything for this to take place in my mind.
Okay. Right, go on then.
The next one is, but number 2 is particularly good because it actually had a working effect upon me as well.
Right. Okay.
So this one, again, really pleased with this title as well. This one's called, and it's suspiciously seasonal.
Right.
For the wrong time of year.
Okay.
This one's called The Ghost of Christmas Bangers.
Okay. Right.
And it's pretty short.
Right.
I was in a nightclub, very much like, it was like the Phoenix nightclub. It was like proper budget, lost in time, cabaret type club. And I was playing on this shitty pinball machine with this guy. Didn't know him. And I was like, I really need a piss. So I went into the toilet and I was stood in this cubicle with the door behind me open. The door to the cubicle was open. Yeah. And I was having a piss. And I could sense this like presence behind me. And I turned around. And there was a little girl stood there, just smiling at me. And she had like long, like shoulder length brown hair. I remember she had a black jumper on and blue patterned trousers. And she looked at me and just smiled. And I was like, okay, no, sorry. I was like wondering why there was a little girl on her own in the men's toilets. And I was there with my knob out. So my reaction was like, oh, fucking hell. Like, so like, and then she just smiled and walked into the cubicle next to me. So I was like, you're in the wrong toilets, love. I looked around the thing and there was no one in the cubicle. She just vanished. Okay. So I was like, what the fuck? So I got a bit freaked out. So I went out of the toilets. And when I went through the door, instead of coming out into the club, I just came into the toilets again. And that little girl was just stood there in the middle of the toilet, just looking at me, smiling. And then she walked into another cubicle and fucking vanished. And I absolutely shat myself. Like, this was real. This was very real.
Yeah.
Completely shit myself. And I went running out, went through the toilet, out of the toilet door. And then I was woke up by Fatima shaking me, telling me to wake up. And I was just lying there in bed going, my name is Ross Gurm, my name is Ross Gurm, my name is Ross Gurm. That's it. And the reason why I called it, I've missed a fucking crucial detail as to why I called it that, is because the first time I was walking out of the toilet, because I was like, the first time I wasn't as scared as the second time.
Yeah.
Jonah Louis Stop the Cavalry was playing in this club. And in my dream, I remember saying out loud in the dream, this is a banger. And then I went back in and she was there again, and then I shat myself. So I called it the Ghost of Christmas Bangers.
Why were you saying my name is Roscoe?
I have no idea. But I remember vaguely, like, I remember when she told me, I was like, I knew I was saying something weird. I was like, I know I was saying something weird. What was I saying? She was like, you were just screaming, my name is Roscoe, my name is Roscoe, over and over again. This is the kind of shit she has to put up with, man.
If you're not screaming your own name in bed, you're walking up and down the kitchen waiting for a shit.
I had a night terror the other night, and I can't remember what was happening, but I just she woke me up, and she was you were like an increasing like haunt. We started small and just went massive, and I remember waking up at like the crescendo of this scream, and she woke me up, and I knew at what point she'd woke me up because I was just like, you fucking wired. And I had to go into the bathroom because I was laughing my ass off for so long. I couldn't, because I knew what had happened. I was about 30% aware of what was happening. And I was lying in bed going, started off going, when she woke me up, I was just going, full on, like 4:30 in the morning. She woke me up. She was like, Ross, shut the fuck up. I woke up. I was like, what was I doing? She was like, you were just fucking screaming really loudly for ages. And I was in bits, honestly. I just went into the bathroom and I was just sat on the toilet laughing my ass off. I was just...
Oh, you're mental. There's something wrong with you.
But it runs in the family. That's the thing.
Your microphone's gone a bit weird for some reason.
Is that better?
Yeah.
It runs in the family because my mum, my mum stayed at my sister and brother-in-law's a few months ago, and my brother-in-law was telling me, he was like, "Your mum's fucking mental." I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Because at about 3:00 in the morning, I woke up, and all I could hear echoing throughout the house was." Like that, and he woke Devon up, and he was like, "What the fuck's that, Devon? What the fuck's that?" And she woke up, and she was like, "For fuck's sake, that's me, mum." And she went in, and my mum was just doing that in her sleep for no reason. And it just cracks me up to think of James waking up, going, "Devon, what the hell's that sound?" It's me, mum, in the other room. I remember.
Your microphone's gone again. Sorry. I don't know what's going on. No, it's gone really quiet. I think you've blown it by screaming.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that better?
No. It's gone really quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'll just do this for the time being. But I remember as a kid, like things happening, like loads of instances when I was a kid of waking up thinking, "What the fuck is that sound?"
Yeah.
I remember one of the funniest ones is when I woke up and I could hear this. I could hear this sound, but I couldn't hear it that clearly because my mum and dad's bedroom was on the other side of the house. It sounded like I could just hear like. I was like, and I woke up, I was like fucking 10 or something. I was, what's that? And I went into mum and dad's room, and my dad's going, Trace, fucking wake up, will you? And my mum is stood, and she's at the window, and it's like she's trying to get something out of the window, and she's going, fuck off, who can get out? Who can get out? Who can get out? Like that. We woke her up, and she thought there was loads of seagulls. She thought there was lots of seagulls in the room, and she's going, "Fuck off, fuck off, get out, fuck off." Who can get out? Who can get out? Out of the window. Who can get out? So I get it from my mum. I know.
Yeah, obviously.
whenever we meet and we're catching up, inevitably we're going to be talking about something weird we did in our sleep. Every time. She'll be like, "Oh, fucking Phil had to wake me up the other night because I was giving it fucking in my sleep." And I was like, Fatima's like, "Fucking Ross does that every other night."
I was going to, before you talked about that, I was going to tell you the other night I woke myself up by trying to say Charlotte's name in my sleep. I know I was dreaming about something, and I know I had that thing, you know, not the sleep paralysis thing, but you know when you can't
yeah.
sleep, and I was trying to say a name through that, and I remember the last time I did it, I woke myself up by saying her name. And then I sort of woke up. I was just like, "What? Why was I trying to say her name in my sleep?"
Yeah,
really odd. But
it's a stress related thing usually.
Right.
Yeah, it's when you're not like when there's various stresses in your life and you don't let it out.
Yeah.
Like not through choice. You're just not the type of person to let it out.
Yeah.
And the same. Like I won't actively think I'm stressed about something.
No.
But evidently I am, because I'm an absolute fruitcake in my sleep. And that's the most common form of that sort of shit. Because when you're in a super deep sleep, that doesn't happen.
No.
Your body shuts off, your brain shuts off, and you're protected. The body protects itself when you're sleeping, so you don't go jumping out the fucking window.
Yeah.
But like when you're waking up, going up, doing weird shit.
That was it. Were you there?
But you're not in a deep enough sleep. You're still sort of hovering.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's like, because I lucid dream very often, and when something too strange or too stressful happens in a dream, my mind will go, "You're in a dream, get out of it now."
Yeah.
So when I saw that little girl, that little ghost, absolutely shat myself.
Yeah.
Some part of my brain said, "You're in a dream, you're shitting yourself, you need to wake up." In reality, that's, "My name is Roscoe, my name is Roscoe, my name is Roscoe." And I even sent, listen, I sent this voice note to my family, because they all, it's like a running joke within my family.
But yeah, with you saying that's exactly what, Saturday night I went to bed early because I was knackered. Charlotte was still watching TV downstairs, and I must have been asleep for, I'd say, a minute, because I looked at my phone before I sort of shut my eyes, and then I looked again. It was maybe 3 minutes at the most, and I dreamt I was walking up the steps down here, and I caught my foot going up the first step, and I began to fall, and in my sleep, I very quickly brought my knees up to my chest. Yeah. I kind of went like that, and then I woke up and I thought, why am I curled up? And I thought, oh, I must have been asleep. Looked, it had been about 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I must have dropped off like that and dreamt immediately.
Listen to this. Here's one for you. So last night, Fatima was trying to wake me up because I was making strange noises in my sleep. You know, the usual and all that bollocks. She woke me up, and apparently I woke up and just started shouting, "My name is Roscoe, my name is Roscoe, my name is Roscoe." And that was it. All the family are like, "Yeah, obviously." Totally. All right. My name is. Cool. My name is. Cool. All right. My name is. My name is Roscoe. Semi. All right. My name is. Cool. My name is. Cool. All right. My name is. My name is Roscoe. Semi. My name is Roscoe. My name is Roscoe. My name is Roscoe. Semi.
Not usual.
Totally normal. When I went to Prague to see Metallica, and Devon and James came with me, and they did their own thing when I went. So we stayed in this Airbnb. It was a creepy fucking Airbnb, and I was in like the main living area, and it was a fold-out bed, and it was a huge ceilinged room, and it was really old, and it was just a bit creepy. And I felt a little like, I remember when I was like lying in bed, I was like, this is creepy. Like, to be lying here on your own, it's a bit creepy. in Old Town in Prague. And yeah, Devon, and you had a night terror, but because nobody was there to tell me exactly what I'd done, I wasn't entirely certain. But the following morning, Devon was like, "You having a night terror, weren't you?" I was like, "I think I was, yeah. Why? What did you hear?" She was like, "Oh God." She was like, "At about 3 o'clock, I woke up. All I could hear was you going, 'You fuck off! You fuck off!'" I was like, "You don't think to come and help me?" She was like, "No, it sounded terrifying." Fuck off!
Oh dear. If anyone's listening that can analyze it, then please let us know.
You never wake up. You never wake up going, that was nice.
Yeah.
It's always like really dark, horrible shit. And Fatima's the one who's got to fucking. She's just like now. She's just like she literally like at first she would shit herself. She'd be like, "Oh my God, what?" But now she's just like, "Fucking hell, Ross, shut up." Like she'll be like, she won't even like turn over. She'll just start shaking me. She'll just start going, "Shut up." And I'm lying there going,
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Very patient woman.
It's not like I'm fucking. I think part of her is sympathetic. So it's like, it's not nice. It's never, it's not like nobody likes waking up like that.
Yeah, but I think if I'd been doing that for the last 20 years, I'd be sleeping in this room by now. I guarantee it.
Fuck off! Who can get out? Who